We're live, Rip. I told the
We're
people,
live, baby.
told the people 12:30. Oh, there he is. Please
Okay.
show a picture.
I don't see him. I don't see him.
Ah, how does this
Wait a minute.
happen? Ken, can you hear us?
His
Oh,
name popped up, but it's dark.
holy shit! How does this? No, 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 no. Uh, gosh damn it! Unbelievable. I cannot believe this. How did we get Rip and not? Ken, can you hear us?
Kenny, can you hear me?
Gosh damn it! Nobody can see Ken Patera, can they? Ken, it looks like he. He turned it. He muted himself. Device is not connected. When you click the link, Rip, when you get on, does it ask you about your camera and
Yeah.
it does?
Yeah.
So what it just says access or permission
Yeah.
to use camera and
Yeah.
video?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They will need to connect their camera before you add them to the stage. So it doesn't look like he has said yes to. All right, look at that. Oh,
All right.
All right.
I feel like the
Hey.
world's strongest man now.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
screaming, is Screaming Baboon still on there waiting?
He's on, baby.
Oh, fuck. We might have one person on there. All right.
No, we got a loaded show. We got all kinds of people. We had 30-some people ready to go.
Good.
Shit.
Man, I
Unbelievable.
apologize for that. I have no idea what all that was about. That was never has happened. And
Yeah. My picture is real small.
no, you look good. You look great to us. I don't know. Can you see us? You look good on our end.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see both of you, but we're small pictures.
Well, you're farther away.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. See, I'm taking it close. See.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm holding mine because I didn't know what the hell we was going to do.
Okay. Well, here, let me hold mine.
Oh, you don't have to. You look whatever you want to do, but you don't have to hold it.
No, he's after that 71-year-old bitch. He's been getting BJ's from is what he's doing. So I think she was checking in and she was telling about what a masculine male he was, how he made her feel like she was 19 again and she was squirting. And it was all because she was being held by the world's strongest man.
That's it.
Man, just like last Friday, sex talk with Kim Patera and Rip Rogers.
It don't get any better than that.
That's right. 205.
Cialis and Viagra.
Okay. Yeah, I can't. The picture's real small.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, if I take my glasses off, I can't see nothing anyway. So
same here.
Well,
Blind.
the picture's real small, but my dick's real small. So what the hell, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we went past 30 seconds of cussing or really doing sexual innuendos.
Yeah,
We gotta get down to some serious Ken badass Patera, who Jesse the Body Ventura is going wild on the internet. And I had so many likes and so many followers of this talking about asking, why aren't you in the Hall of Fame?
well, I don't think it's because I told Vince McMahon to go fuck himself 1,000 times.
Did you tell Linda that too?
No, I like Linda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I always got along well with her. Yeah, she ran the whole fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's a lawyer. Yeah.
So you did tell Vince to fuck off?
Oh, many, many times.
How did he take that?
Like a cunt.
He could have been like Dusty. I've never been talked to anybody in that way in my life.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
I don't even know. I should probably know this since you're on our show. Did you eventually get fired from WWF, or did you leave, or how'd that end?
No, at Survivor Series, the first one, after the show, well, prior to the show, I told him I had the flu, which I did. I could hardly fucking stand up and walk. And we're getting ready to go out to the ring. And I said, Vince, don't expect too much out of me tonight because I'm sick. He didn't believe me. Well, when he says oh, that's bullshit. I said, fuck you too. Ask Jimmy Brunzell. Jimmy Brunzell and I were sharing a room out by the Cleveland airport. And I think it was a Hilton Hotel or Sheraton or something. But anyway, I was throwing up all night. And I must have had the flu or food poisoning or something. And so I ordered a couple rum and cokes. After that, I felt a little better. Yeah.
So then it was after that?
That was prior to going to the show.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, after the show, then that's when.
After the show, I didn't drink at all.
No. I mean, when you quit or got fired from WWF.
Oh, well, it was the situation. I said, Vince, I'm going to give you my notice. And the caveat that goes with that is I'll put over anybody you want me to put over. I said, I know you want Bad News Brown and Big Boss Man.
Oh, Lordy. Ken just got a call.
Yeah. Okay.
This is what happens to you, Rip.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Now he's got to.
Oh my God.
Now he's got to figure it out.
Oh.
So this has been the most exciting, greatest show in many, many months. At least we didn't really start cussing the first 30 seconds because I guess for how many minutes we was off the air. But are the loyal followers, is Screaming Baboon still out there?
We got 38 people on here right now.
Oh shit! Then I guess we just need to start talking about other shit then.
Baboon's on, yeah. We need to figure out, Ken, if you can hear me, what you're probably going to have to do is swipe all the way out, totally leave StreamYard, and then reconnect again. Allow your microphone and camera again. Do you know, Rip, when you get a call like that, can you still hear me can you hear me like when it's black? Do you have any idea?
I don't think so. And it shuts down like no. Then I cuss, scream. Then I say, God damn it. Now I got to remember how to do it, which I forget every time. You know, I eventually figure it out.
I'll text him. I know this story is for him, but Talk a little bit about Bobby Heenan for a second, and then I'll send Ken a text.
Okay. Want me to talk about Bobby Heenan?
Yeah, just any
Okay.
stories on Bobby Heenan, and we'll get Ken to talk about Bobby Heenan when he. He's.
Is he
I thought he
creeping back
was.
in?
I thought he was. It started spinning.
Well, it's like I consider Bobby Heenan the greatest manager of all time. So does Cornette. Because Bobby, he had, whenever he worked, every time Dick the Bruiser hit, every time Bruiser hit Bobby Heenan, he bled. and that was the thing. So Bruiser loved Bobby Heenan, and he wished he could have kept him forever, but he couldn't make enough money. But Bobby, he was so good because he was a manager, really. Now, he started out wrestling, but he was a manager, but he worked like a wrestler. His bumps were so good. His pantomime was so good. He was just like, what a heat magnet he was. I remember when I was just starting out and I was going to the back of Bruiser's matches, and Kelsey McClure got me clearance so I could go where the boys were, but I couldn't go in the dressing room. So I'd be watching that. And Bobby Heenan happened to be home for, I don't know if it was Christmas or whatever the hell it was, but he happened to be there. All he did was poke his head out the dressing room door, and he wanted to walk up the aisle a little bit so he could see. And all of a sudden, there was more booing than any other heel I'd ever heard since I was going to the matches at live. So all that was Bobby Heenan sticking his head out, looking around. Somebody spotted him. Hey, there's Bobby Heenan. Then
Okay.
all of a sudden, it was nothing but
What you're gonna have
boos.
to do is go back to that StreamYard link I sent. So instead of FaceTime, you may go back to your text messages and hit that StreamYard link again, and then hit yes to camera and yes to microphone. So, okay, all right.
So Bobby just had so much heat, and I think he was wrestling in it, or he was at Atlanta at that time. But when Heenan stuck his head out, that place just erupted with nothing but boos. And I never heard nothing like that before. And it was Heenan said, well, I just wanted to see a little bit of the match. and he was actually talking to me accidentally. I wouldn't say shit because I knew if I opened my mouth, I might probably say something stupid. But in my mind, in Cornette's mind too, that he's the greatest manager ever. And anybody that disagrees with him, I guess, well, you didn't get to see him when he was really working and wrestling, and the bumps he could take, the way he could sell. Everybody hated him.
Ken Patera should be joining us again here briefly. He keeps FaceTiming me instead of clicking the link. So he got a phone call like Rip did.
Yeah.
He just gave me the
it disappeared.
The FaceTime, and he said, "Am I on?" And I said, "Nope. You got to go. You got to click the link."
FaceTime. Well, look how bad I am, Clint. And Kenny was a school teacher too earlier. And he's 11. He's 83, I think.
Oh, shit. How did we make this work so well last Friday, man? I mean, we had 46 people on here. Last Friday, I made this happen with a 72 and 82-year-old, and we just did it flawlessly. And this week, man, just not happening as good. So, Rip, you've got to now. He probably did call Rip. Gregory Mala, you're probably right. Kim Patera probably just called Rip. I keep telling him to click on the link that I'm texting him, but he keeps calling instead. So let me text Rip. I mean, this is good. This is the greatest day ever. I'm me kick Rip out of the thing here. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys. I know you're on here to see Kim Patera and Rip Rogers, and I'm the only one you see right now. Uh-oh. So Ken did not do the camera and microphone again. Unless the... Oh my gosh. They're both black again. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Back to being black. Let me try something else. All right, guys, hang loose. I'm going to open up my third incognito window and see if this works. I'll be right back. Same link, same bad channel. Give me 1 second. There's Rip.
Can you hear me, Clint?
I can. I just opened up a brand new window again. Uh-oh, there's Ken. All right, look at that. Holy shit.
We're back. All right.
It's like we never were gone.
How long will this last?
I don't know. If you guys would quit getting phone calls from your girlfriends all the time, maybe we could stay on here a little longer.
Oh, no, I don't think well, I got a phone call about 4 or 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's what, so when that happens, when you get a phone call, it kicks you off of here.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, so you have to exit all the way out of StreamYard and then get back in. It kicks you off of here when you get a phone call.
Well, I've done that twice now.
Yeah, so tell your ladies to quit calling you.
I know.
Tell your young boy that's what it is. Okay, fade me.
Hey, well, we got you back on here. We got a question though. Do you got any stories or memories of Bobby Heenan?
Oh, 1,000.
Okay.
Well, just give us one. A 60-minute one.
Okay, one of the last times that Bobby and I were traveling together, we were on the road for 7 days. And we, one night we wound up in Houston, Texas at the airport. So we checked in the Hyatt Regency there. I said, "Do you have any rooms?" It was late. It was like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. "Oh, yeah." So she gives us a key. That's when they still had physical keys.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, "Where's the room at?" She says, "Just take a left here and go all the way to the end." I said, okay. I said, Bobby, this sounds familiar. I said, for the last 6 nights, every time we ask where the room is, it's the last room on the left. I said, last room on the left. How in the fuck can this be? That's impossible. But anyway, we get down to the room, and there was a scary horror movie out at that time, and it was called The Last Room on the Left.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah. So we get down there, put the key in the door, and Bobby says, you go in first. I said, fuck you. I said, you go in first. And so anyway, we're standing out in the hallway having an argument who's going to go in first. So I finally went in, looked around, looked under the bed, looked in the closet, looked in the bathroom. I said, it's all clear, Bobby. Are you sure? I says, yes. I said, come on in. So he's sneaking in. And he starts to look around. He looks under the bed, in the closet, in the bathroom. He said, okay. And I told him, I said, you know, this is 7 nights in a row that it's the last room on the left. He said, that is spooky. I don't want to stay here. I says, Bobby, it's the only room left in the fucking hotel. So we stayed that night. We couldn't get out of there quick enough in the morning. We were both spooked out. And then so we drive back to the airport, turn the rental car in, get on the plane. I think we had to go back to Minneapolis. We were both living in Minneapolis at the time. And then another time, we're in St. Louis. We're down they had a restaurant in the basement of the hotel. So we're hungry. We order breakfast. It's a big fat black broad. She had to weigh 350. And she was running the French fry, I don't know what they call it, the grease pit, I guess. And the whole place smelled like a fucking French fry. So anyway, Bobby starts messing around with her and invites her up to the bedroom. So about 10 minutes later, no, about 20 minutes later, get a knock on the door. And Bobby says, answer that, will you? He was already in bed, jerking off or something. Yeah, so I answered the phone. I answered the door, and here's this big black girl. She was probably about 5'10", 350, and she still had her cook clothes on, you know, her white apron and stuff. She smelled just like that grease pit. And I said, well, come on in. She says, is Bobby here? I says, yeah, Bobby's in bed. Oh, good. So she goes over to the bed, and he said, well, you're not going to just stand there, are you? He said, well, what do you want me to do? I want you to take your clothes off. So she takes her clothes off. She had these big floppy tits, a big fat belly, big fat ass. It was a horrible fucking sight. And I had to go to the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom, and she walked by the bathroom. It looked like a big black cloud. And I said, oh my God, is he actually going to fuck her? And so she goes back over to his bed and jumps in bed with him. I thought the bed was going to break. And so Bobby, He rolls her over, jumps on top. It looked like a fucking little white ant on top of a big boulder or something.
Oh my God.
And so he starts hammering her. He lasts less than a minute, maybe 30 seconds, pops a nut. He rolls off her like he was rolling off a big stack of whatever.
Cliff.
And he's laying to her. And she sits up and says, Bobby, is that all there is? He says, well, what the fuck? We both started at the same time. If you can't keep up, it's not my fault.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, God.
That's a good Bobby Heenan story right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a funny son of a bitch, I'll tell you.
Do you think he's the best manager ever?
Yeah, probably because he's still pretty mobile. Where Lou Albano, he had gotten fat and crippled up, and the Grand Wizard, my other manager, I got rid of Lou because he was unpredictable. I couldn't trust him. Like we were doing a TV show, and we did them every 3 weeks. And every time I had a TV match, let's say I threw my opponent out of the ring onto the floor, he'd go over and start putting the boots to him, kicking them, picking them up, body slamming them, hitting. So I looked over the rope. I said, what do you want me to do now, Lou? I said, you just beat the shit out of my opponent. I think it'd be an unfair fight if I finished him off. Why don't you just finish him off? Where? On the floor. Pin him. This is on TV.
Wow.
And he just couldn't get it. And after that was the last time I had him as a manager.
Were you the only guy in his troupe, or did he have like 3 or 4 guys?
No, he had at that time, yeah. Then the Samoan boys came in, Offensica.
Yeah.
And then he wound up managing them. And I went with the Grand Wizard.
Uh-huh.
And so the Grand Wizard was a better fit for me because when I threw an opponent out onto the floor, the Grand Wizard, he was just a little guy, he wouldn't go over there and put the boots to him. And because I told Lou, I said, every time I throw the guy out, you go over and pound the shit out of him. It takes all the heat off of me, puts all the heat on you. Well, not necessarily. I said, yeah, it really does. I said, it's the shits. And I said, as a matter of fact, that was the last time he managed me. I says, I don't think I'm going to have this problem with Ernie. The Grand Wizard's first name was Ernie. And so he said, well, I'm sorry you feel that way about it. And I says, well, yeah, I feel that way about it. I said, I just don't like and he had been my manager for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put up with that bullshit for a fucking year.
Well, Vince Sr. was the boss, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was the boss, and he sees what's going on, and
Yeah.
he didn't stop it, so he must have free reign to do what he wanted then.
Yeah, well, Lou had done that his whole career.
Mm-hmm. And he let him get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
With Ernie, I can see Ernie just pointing to you when the guys you beat him up and you've thrown him out and he's selling that, and that's what my strong man did. That's what Ken Patera. That's why he's the world's strongest man. Look what Ken Patera did to him. So he's putting all the heat on you, and Ernie ain't going to touch you.
Exactly, and that's exactly how it turned out. So Ernie and I got along real well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He used to take me down. My wife and I, when my wife was in New York City, we'd be staying at the same hotel. He says, Kenny, how would you like you and Sue go down to off-Broadway show tonight? And I said, yeah, that'd be fun. So we went down to Broadway show with him. And what the hell was that guy's name? The comedian Rip something. Was it? God damn, I can't think of his name. He used to come out and blow the confetti all over the stage and
okay.
stupid, and which most of the comedians did. They back in those days, they had some pretty good comedians, but this one he was over like $1 million with the type of people that he drew. And so we're sitting there having a drink. So I ordered drinks, and the lady came by, and Ernie didn't drink, and my wife just wanted a glass of water. So I got a rum and Coke. I said, how much is it? She says, $6. $6. $6. And that was back in 1970, back in the 70s anyway.
Wow.
Or no, back in the 80s. And I said, $6 for a drink. That drink nowadays would be $30.
Yeah.
So anyway. So
Go ahead.
I don't know how many drinks I had. I probably kept it under 10. So the bar tab was still $60, $70. Plus.
Who paid the bar tab? Did Ernie pay it?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Ernie got paid like the rest of us. So the only guy that got paid the big bucks was Andre the Giant. Whenever Andre would go drinking or eating, he'd just keep the tabs and then give them to Vince the next day, and Vince would take care of it. Yeah.
Did you ever wrestle Andre?
I wrestled Andre over 600 times.
That's a lot.
Yeah, he was my favorite opponent.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. People say, well, how can you wrestle somebody 600 times? Well, you add up all the single matches, all the tag team matches, all the battle royals. We were in about 150 battle royals together, and him and I were always the last two. The world's strongest man and the giant. So it was a natural pairing. And then we'd have 6-man tags. We'd have special event type of matches and lumberjack matches, you name it. We had every fucking match in the book. And over 600 times. People say, well, how many times did you wrestle Hulk Hogan? I said over 300 times. Well, did you wrestle anybody else? I said, I wrestled everybody. I said, we used to wrestle, 20 some times a month, but put that over a 16, 18-year period, it adds up.
Did you guys ever wrestle each other?
Who?
You and Rip and Ken Patera.
Oh, no.
No?
No, I don't think. Well, Rip, you came in to New York. What year was that?
Well, with Vince Sr., I worked Allentown, and I worked the Philadelphia Arena. That was about 78, I think it was.
Yeah, that was the Market Street Arena in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I did. That was the time when Fuji took all my shit and threw it on the chandeliers and got in my bag and everything.
Oh God.
Yeah, and all the stuff on all my stuff that I brought with me was on the chandeliers and stuff.
Yeah, that was food. Yeah, he did that to everybody, so don't feel like you're special.
Right.
Yeah, he fucked everybody.
We were talking a little bit about, before we got cut off the first time, Rip had brought up Jesse Ventura in the Hall of Fame. Do you have any? Do you have ill will about not being in the Hall of Fame? Have you talked to Jesse Ventura lately about him coming out and saying that kind of stuff, or what?
Well,
What's your...
when people ask me about that, I said, "What Hall of Fame are you talking about?" If you're talking about the weightlifting Hall of Fame, the World Weightlifting Hall of Fame, I'm in that. I'm in the St. Louis Hall of Fame for wrestling, which is just at that time was just as big as the WWF Hall of Fame. They actually have a building. You know, the WWF or WWE now,
Yeah.
they don't have a building.
Right. Yep.
It's a big warehouse with all the stuff that Vince Jr. collected. And so I said, well, all the Hall of Fames I'm in actually have buildings.
Right.
And so the reason I'm not in Vince's Hall of Fame, because I told him to go fuck himself too many times. And another time, I think, might have had something to do with it. I went to Japan for Inoki, and he wanted me to go for Giant Bubba. And that was in 1979, 1980, something like that. And he kind of held that against me because he mentioned it once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, business is business. I was making more money, by not going with you. Because he'd take a cut.
Right.
And, so, business is business.
Gotcha. Hey, earlier, Shane Parks, thanks for that Bobby Heenan question. I'm hoping that you were satisfied with that answer. That was one hell of a story. Screamy Baboon in our chat, Rip's Boy, has a question. Says, Ken, did you ever knock out a mark or been in a riot? Did you ever get in fights with the fans or anything?
Oh, yeah, I was in many riots. I'll tell you one. I was in Bangor, Maine. Everybody there carries a gun and a knife. And so I'm out having a strap match with Chief Jay Strongbow. And so I finally, we're in the ring. We got a strap tethered to both of us. And finally, I get the best of him. I get him down and I'm beating the shit out of him. And there was a little manager up there. His name was Coogie. And for those old enough to remember, Zane Grey was a great author back in those days. As a matter of fact, they had a Zane Grey theater on television back in the 50s and 60s. So anyway, I called Coogie over. He's sitting ringside. So he comes over. I say, Coogie, give me your cane. He hands me his cane, and I start choking the chief with that cane, just beating him bad. And this one fan goes berserko, jumps up on the apron. He pulls out this hunting knife, as John Kerry would call it, a hunting knife. Pulls this fucking knife out. That thing had to be 10, 12 inches long. And he's holding it up over his head. And I turned around, saw that. I cold cocked that motherfucker. And it was funny. They had security there. They had 6 cops. And when I hit him, he just fell like a big old tree. And there's 3 cops on either side of him, and the cops caught him. Otherwise, he would have landed on his head. And he was out. They turned around and carried him right out to the front door and threw him out the front door. And he was knocked out. There was snow all over the place. It was during the wintertime. Another time, a riot was in Alexandria, Louisiana. Now I'm wrestling Captain America, Dirty Dick Murdoch. And we're having a lumberjack match. and that's where the guys are outside around the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So Dick grabs a chair, hits me over the head with the chair. Down I go, and I roll over, did the gig job, get up, I'm bleeding all over the fucking place. And all of a sudden, I was a good guy. And here come the chairs. There had to be 30 to 40 fucking chairs in the ring. I mean, it was raining chairs. And so the rest of the locker room emptied out, came out to the ring, because by that time there was 30 people in the fucking ring. Those goddamn rednecks down there thought that it was time to have a riot. And boy, we had a good one. And finally, I don't know, when those chairs are coming, you don't have time to block them all. I
Right.
got hit half a dozen times with chairs, and Murdoch got hit probably 12 times. I said, God damn it, Murdoch, what the fuck did you do that for? And he said, well, it wasn't my fault. I just used the chair. I said, well, that's what I mean. And so anyway, there was only like 4 cops there. So the boys had to get around us and escort us back to the locker room. And we had a fight. I don't know how many people I had to punch on the way back. I dropped 4 or 5 anyway, minimum. Wow. So the following week, we're back down there, or 2 weeks later, we're in Alexandria, Louisiana again. Well, on the way back to the ring, or to the locker room from the ring, there's this kid. He puts his hand up on his uncle's shoulder and fires a shot at me. Wow. I didn't even know, because there was so much noise in the fucking place. His uncle grabbed his hand and took the gun away from him. And by that time, the cops were on top of him, pounding the dog shit out of him. They drug him to the locker room. Says, Ken, here's the guy that took a shot at you. I said, what? I didn't even know it. And here, beat the shit out of him for us. I said, well, fuck, you guys already done the job. So anyway, another police officer went out. That bullet missed me and hit the big steel corrugated steel door, flattened that goddamn bullet. And he picked that piece of lead up and brought it in the locker room. Here's the proof that he fired the gun.
Wow.
And, shit like that,
Just getting shot at.
Yeah. I don't know how many. Oh, I got shot at again. We're at the old amphitheater in Chicago. I think they tore that building down years ago. But somebody up in the balcony was firing shots. Well, one of the shots hit the ring post. Thank God the post is metal. And the cops, they had a couple of police officers up in the balcony. There was about 12,000 people in the place. And they saw the guy fire the shots. I don't know how many fired.
Wow.
But Heenan was my manager at that time. We were in the AWA. And the cops got him. And, shit like that,
Yeah. Rip, tell him about your riot you were in.
Well, before I get into that, I wanted to just, when I was working in Japan, I'm in the main event in the last night with Baba. And then Vince McMahon comes strutting in. He gets in the ring. He was trying to do a thing with his company, would work with Baba. This was in 1990 when I was there. So there I am I'm in the main event with Baba. and Vince McMahon comes to the fucking ring and sees me with fucking Baba, right?
Yeah.
And I'm doing a queer gimmick.
I love,
That's fucking. I just had to say that because when you talked about whatever you talk about, I just started thinking about different stuff I hadn't thought about in years.
yeah.
So, are you talking about when I had 3 riots in a row in South Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, Durban, South Africa, Kenny. You
Yeah.
can imagine that. And I'm working with Tiger Jeet Singh.
Yeah.
So every night on the tour, I worked with him. So the first time they knocked me to the floor and they started coming to the ring with chairs trying to hit me, so I had to get back in the ring. So now we have all the militia around there. They got to escort me to and from the ring.
Yeah.
The next time we have a riot in the ring, I start beating him with a chair. So they start throwing chairs in there. Now it's goddamn raining chairs.
Yeah.
And then so he beats me off again. The last night, I tried to run as I seen shit was happening. They were coming, so I'm grabbing the militia to protect me and everything. And they even had the shields and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
And then fucking the Packies or whatever the fuck they were, yeah, they didn't give a shit. Tiger's just laughing like a son of a bitch, right?
Yeah.
Motherfucker's doing nothing but laughing, and then he's leading it, and I got knifed too. Now it looked real bad, but I barely got sliced by some fan.
Yeah.
It was like a fingernail, you know what I mean? And it was bloody, and I still got a scar. But I said, "Oh my God, I'm fucking knifed." I said, "Oh, okay, it ain't that bad." And I was too scared anyway, and I had so much shit going on. At the end of the night, he's coming back in. The promoters there, you'll never forget, because their name was Ajit Mahara and Ray Harry Prasad. You can't get any more packy than that, can you?
No, that's it.
Or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
And that was the place where they took me to some restaurant, but I looked at it, and there was a fucking a fish with his eyeball open, right? I saw that, and I said, just give me a cheese sandwich and a Coke.
Yeah.
We got another chat question talking about Andre the Giant again. Did you really knock out Andre? Somebody wants to know. And if so, is that when you tore your triceps?
No, there's 2 different instances. With Andre the Giant, Big John Studd and I were wrestling Andre in a tag team. The tag team partner was Special Delivery Jones, SD Jones.
Uh-huh.
And that was in Poughkeepsie, New York. And that was the lead up to the haircutting angle that we did. He had come back from somewhere. He wanted a short haircut. Yeah, he had long hair his whole life. So he wanted to look like Rock Hudson, I guess. And so we gave him a haircut. And Stud and I, while I was in the ring with SD Jones, I threw him over the top rope. So he's laying out there on the floor of the Poughkeepsie, New York arena. By that time, Stud had Andre by both arms from outside the ring. And then that gave me time to climb up and get on the top rope. And I said, Stud, let him loose, let him loose. As he let him loose, he turned around and I came out with a big knee. Well, I wasn't supposed to knock him out, but I hit him right in the side of the head. Hit him right in that fucking vulnerable area. If you want to really drop somebody cold, that's where you hit him. And my knee hit him right alongside the head, knocked him out colder than a cucumber.
Wow.
So,
was he mad about that?
No, it's an angle. It's an accident.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's laying on his back and groggy. So I propped him up, 500 fucking pounds, dead weight. It's not the easiest thing to move around.
Right.
So anyway, I got him up on his butt, and Bobby the Brain Heenan pulls out a pair of scissors and gives them to Stud. So Stud's waving the scissors around like we're going to give Andre a haircut, which we did. So Stud starts, clipping his hair off. He has 2 handfuls of hair, and he parading around the room or around the ring. Andre finally comes to. He gets up and feels, like Samson did when Delilah cut his hair, the old biblical story.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going like this. What happened to my hair? My hair. And Stud says, here's your hair. And so he gets back on his feet and goes nuts and comes after both of us. Of course, we're cowardly type of guys, so we jumped over the top rope so he couldn't get to us. So we left him. By that time, SD Jones had crawled back into the ring. And so it's just a ring announcer, the referee, SD Jones, and Andre the Giant. Big John Studd and myself and Bobby Heenan are out on the floor of the arena, waving his hair at him. And that was the hottest thing that I had ever been involved in.
Oh, nice.
I mean, we went everywhere we went, a complete sellout. It was sold out before the show. That's how big that was. And so anyway, during that time, I got in a little ruckus with the Waukesha Police Department by Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then we had to go to court and everything. The motherfuckers put me in jail. They gave me and Saito for beating up a bunch of fucking cops that started the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit last weekend.
Oh yeah,
we got into that a little bit. We didn't really we got to most of the story. Now the cops, you said, kind of jumped you in the hotel room. Did you get some good licks in and stuff?
Oh yeah. Well, what happened? 2 cops come down to our room, knock on the door. Saito answers the door. I'm sitting on the bed talking to my wife. It's 12:30 at night. So anyway, the cops are trying to tell Saito that he was at McDonald's and he threw a rock through the window. He said, no, my partner, Ken. Saito at that time still couldn't speak fluent English.
Yeah.
So they're kind of stumbling around. So finally he said, Kenny, come here. So I get up. I didn't know the cops were at the door. I heard some people talking, but I didn't know who in the hell it was. So I go over there. And there's this girl cop. She was 19. She looked like she was 15. She was 5'10" and weighed 120 pounds. 120 pounds, 5'10". She looked like Popeye's girlfriend, Olive Oil. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit uglier. And so anyway, I said, well, I was at they said, well, you were at McDonald's and threw a rock through the window? I said, well, hold on. I was at McDonald's, but I didn't throw a rock through the window. Well, I was at the drive-up window because the place was closed, but they were filming a commercial on the inside. And so I asked for a couple of hamburgers. They wouldn't serve me because they said that the hamburgers were cold and they were just using them as a prop for the TV commercial. So I said, okay. I said, so I asked him, I said, is there any place to eat around here? Now everything's closed. I said, well, that's good. I said, I'm staying up here at the Holiday Inn, and their restaurant's been closed for 2 hours. And he said, oh, well, that's too bad. And then the guy says, well, you're Ken Patera, aren't you? You know, he's a wrestling fan. This is the kid that came to the window. I said, yeah, I'm Ken Patera. He says, God, I watch you. You're one of my favorite wrestlers. And all of a sudden, here comes a rock through the window. And I look to my left, and there's some fucking kid, probably 16, 17 years old, throws a rock through the window. Smash, crash, you know. I said, what the hell did you do that for? He said, they fired me, those fucking assholes. I hate them. I said, wow. I said, shit. You know, I didn't know what the hell to say. Anyway, the kid turns around, picks up his bicycle, and rides off. Well, he dropped the bicycle in what was a rock garden. There's all kinds of rocks. And the rock that he threw was probably about 5-6 inches in diameter, you know, plenty big enough to go through a window. So anyway, I go back up to the hotel and I tell Saito, I said, well, I went down to McDonald's. They wouldn't serve me. They were closed. So we have no food. But we're both starving. We hadn't eaten all day. And we had wrestled that night in Watertown, Wisconsin, a little town about an hour away. So, no, we don't have any transportation. We can't go anywhere. The van at the hotel was broke down. So we're fucked. And we're pissed. And so these two cops knock on the door. Well, you're Ken Patera, right? I says, yeah. You were at McDonald's earlier? I said, yeah, I was down there. Went down there to get some hamburgers. We were hungry. Well, why did you throw the rock through the window? I said, hey, hold on. I didn't throw the rock. Some kid that they fired a week or so ago is pissed off at him. He picks up a rock and throws through the window. Well, why would a young kid be at McDonald's at 12:30 at night? So I told him, I said, because he was pissed off at him that they fired him. Oh, well, that didn't give him the reason to throw the rock. Well, tell me about it. I don't know anything about the fucking thing. I was just standing there. So the bitch pulls out a can of mace. Now, I've never been maced before. Pulls out, I didn't see her because she was standing behind her partner. The guy's name was John Dillinger.
Yeah.
John Dillinger, there's a John Dillinger gangster back in the 30s. Ran with Al Capone, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I find all this shit out, you know, when we go to court a couple months later. Anyway, when she maced me, you know, I kind of just turned to the right, and then she maces Saito. Well, Saito's pissed. So he leg dives John Dillinger, the other officer. Down he goes. And I'm, you know, trying to wipe my eyes off. The bitch jumps on my back and tries to gouge my fucking eye out. And you see, I had 3 scratch marks right below my eye on my cheek where she tried to gouge my eye. And in the meantime, to get her off, I didn't know who it was. I didn't know it was her or somebody else. But anyway, just a minute. I'm talking here, Copenhagen running down my lip. Anyway, I knocked her. She's on my back, trying to gouge my eye. I bring my elbow up and hit whoever's on my back. She goes down, hits her head against a cinder block wall. The hallway was only like 4 feet wide. So she hits her head, knocked out, colder than cucumber. Then in the courtroom, she says that I jumped up as high as I could and come down with elbows on the back of her neck 10 times.
Yeah.
Now she's 5'10", weighs 120 pounds. She didn't have any blood on her. She didn't have any broken bones, nothing. I says, and so my lawyer says, well, did he injure you? Oh yeah, really bad. She wasn't injured at all because I never fucking jumped up in there and came down on the back of her neck with 10 elbows.
So did it go to like a jury trial, like a trial, or
full blown 10-day trial?
And did she go to the stand and say this, or did she not have to?
No,
she did.
She said one of the actors jumped up in the air. It's that one, pointed right at me. He wanted to kill me. I says, well, that's kind of funny. I said, because it never happened. It's a lie. Yeah, of course, the jury bought it hook, line, and sinker. Here, I'm 275 pounds, solid muscle, fucking pounding on this 110-pound girl at 5'10", and looked like olive oil. I'm not kidding. Spitting image of Popeye's girlfriend in the cartoons, olive oil.
Wow.
So anyway, after the trial, after 10 days, they convicted us. 2 years in prison, 2 years stayed, 6 years probation, a 10-year sentence, in other words.
Jeez.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you if you think this is funny, the usual fine for something like fighting with police officers in Waukesha, Wisconsin, is $50 fine and 30 days in jail. That's the maximum sentence that was ever given to anybody until Sinai. 2 years, 2 years stayed, 6 years probation. They let us out after a year and a half because we were honorable, upright citizens of the community, and we were good inmates. We're excellent inmates. And so they let us out 6 months early.
Geez.
And
So go ahead.
They all, that was just a publicity stunt, wasn't it? I said, fuck you know. I got asked that multiple times. And I says, well, why should I go in the Waukesha Penitentiary and Waupun, Wisconsin, and see how you like it? And they said, oh, you really did go to prison? I said, yeah. That's why I was out wrestling for 2 years. Yeah. So,
Man, can you give us a little bit? I mean, you don't have to, obviously, but a little bit what prison was like, and then at Vince. I think you had said that Vince Sr., did he pass while you were in prison?
no.
No? Maybe I saw that wrong or something. Maybe
He passed before. He passed in 84.
And what year was this?
This was in, well, it was in 84, but
Okay.
I didn't get out. We didn't go to court until 85.
Okay. All right. So okay. But then Vince Jr. let you back in, right? Afterwards?
Yeah, I stayed in touch with him.
Yeah. Damn.
But yeah, when I got out, we did those promos where I was in a jail cell, and that was all. Vince wrote the script. I told Gene Okerlund, Okerlund was the announcer at the time. He came down to the jail, and we did the promo there. Are we getting feedback?
Yeah, I'm getting a little on my end. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah,
I looked at my settings and Rip, where's your phone at? Is it?
No, it's just a lot of times the audio is shaky or something.
yeah. That's all right. We can get through it. So Gene Okerlund's there at the jail. The jail that we found was in Baltimore. It was the prison was closed down, so the people there at the jail let us do the promo out of the cell. And so I said, Gene, did Vince write this thing? He says, yeah, every word of it. I said, that fucking asshole. Said, well, why? Because it wasn't even realistic, to me.
Right.
People that bought the video, I guess they sold a ton of videos. College Video was doing all the videos back in those days before Vince brought them out. And so I said, Vince, well, when do you want me to start back? He says, well, I got some ideas, and we'll bring you back. We'll start you with the Heenan family, because he's going to kick you out of the family because you're a convict now. And so anyway, then we had a big debate up in Glens Falls, New York, home of
Hacksaw.
And so anyway, we we did the debate up there. That's put the belt around his neck and threw him across the ring. If you saw that, a lot of people did see it.
Yeah.
And anyway, that was the start of my with Bobby the Heenan and his family. Hercules Cortez, Harley Race, Bundy, God, who else was in there? I can't remember the others. But anyway, I'll tell you a funny story about Jimmy. What's Jimmy's last name again? From Glen Falls.
Oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah, Duggan. So we're over in Rhode Island one night. He says, where are you going from here? He said, wherever you're going. I said, I don't have a car. He said, well, jump in with me. I'm going to go home. I said, where do you live? He said, Glen Falls, New York. It's about 2.5 hours drive from here. So I jumped in with him. We get to his house, his dad's house. So he reaches up above the doorway to find the door key. No key. His sister had been staying there for a couple of days, and when she left, she never put the key back. So now it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and Jimmy says, well, we'll have to go down through the cellar. Now, it's one of those old storm cellars where you pick up, you take the doors and hold them out.
Yeah.
And so down into the cellar, we pitch black. We're banging around down there, bumping into the furnace, the old style furnaces. And we're banging around, making all kinds of noise because it's so black down there. We couldn't see nothing. So finally, we find our way to the steps that go up into the kitchen. So up the steps we go. We get about halfway up. The kitchen door opens up, and his dad is standing there with a double-barrel shotgun. Who's there? And Jimmy said, Dad, put the gun down, put the gun, it's me and a friend. Oh, So he said, "Come on up." So we continue up, get to the kitchen, introduces me to his father. His father was chief of police there in Glens Falls, New York.
Wow.
He can't make this shit up.
No.
And so he says, "Yeah, I find the key. Where's the key to the front door?" "Oh, your sister must have taken it with her. She was here for a couple of days." And he says, and so his dad said, "Oh, that's why you came to the basement." And Jimmy says, "Yeah." Okay, so his dad says, "Well, you guys want something to drink?" I said, "I'll take a beer." So I had a beer, and Jimmy, I think, had a glass of water or whatever. So anyway, we go upstairs, go to bed. And that was then when Jimmy got in that problem down in New Jersey with Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were driving down the freeway. The cops pulled them over. Of course, the Sheik doesn't go anywhere without beer or marijuana. So the cops pulled them over, confiscated their beer. "Do you have any drugs?" And Jimmy says, "Yeah, we have some marijuana." So the cops took the marijuana and the beer and then let him go to the show. And of course, that hit the newspapers the next day. His dad had to resign from being police chief in Glen Falls because of that.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, his dad was ready to retire anyway.
Uh-huh.
So it was one of those things, that came up. But yeah, those those were funny days.
Wild. Hey, we won't keep you on here too much longer, but we do have one more question from the audience, and then I know at least I have one question. It says, any memories of Hogan and Andre versus you, Bobby Duncan, Bobby Heenan, and Nick Bockwinkel?
Oh, that was I think that was in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I think we were still but we were still in the AWA then, weren't we?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah,
According,
AWA. So it was Bockwinkel, Duncan, Heenan, and me against Andre and Hulk. Handicap match. Place was sold out. Plus, they sold out the building next to it, the Roy something Coliseum. So we sold out the big arena, 19,000 people. Plus, we sold out the building next door, which was about 6,000. Plus, they had it on closed circuit TV. Biggest house that the AWA ever had. And you would think that the payoff would have been phenomenal. But ticket prices, $5, $6 for ringside, $3 general admission back in those days.
yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of money. It's not like now you have to pay $300 ringside and $100 just to get in the goddamn building. It was people don't understand. They thought that we were making millions of dollars back in those days. We weren't, because the ticket prices were, and we didn't have that many pay-per-views and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but I'm still making close to 200,000 back in those days, and
Pretty good.
which was fantastic money.
Yeah.
And so that's I think we got disqualified in that match. So Hogan and Andre got their hand raised, and I think I got pissed off. I said, "We should have won that match because they cheated."
There you go. Did you ever wrestle Lawler anywhere?
I wrestled Lawler about 30 times.
Did he come to AWA for that? You weren't really in Memphis, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you were in Memphis?
I was wrestling in the AWA.
Right. When
But Gagne and Lawler and those guys had an agreement where they would exchange talent.
yeah.
Well, I went down to Memphis and beat Lawler for the championship belt down there. I had the belt for about a month or two.
Okay.
And then, so I wrestled all over the territory down there, but I'd only stay for 3, 4, 5 days. Sometimes I just fly in for one shot, and mainly at the Mid-South Coliseum.
Yeah.
That was the big arena there. And so
that's what I watched as a kid. I thought I remembered you doing that, but then when you Google it, look it up online, it never mentioned that anywhere that I found. I didn't do a ton of searching for it, but
yeah, they probably didn't film a lot of it. Yeah, but anyway, that's when Andy Kaufman, the comedian.
oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, Andy was wrestling women.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the time, and so he challenges Jerry Lawler to a championship match. Well,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah. In the meantime, I beat Lawler for the belt, and then I wound up being Andy Kaufman's tag team partner.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, we only did it one time.
Okay.
And he hired me to be his bodyguard. And so he gets on TV, says, Jerry Lawler, your career is going to come to an end because I just hired the world's strongest wrestler, Ken Patera, to take care of you. So Lawler agrees, but to a match, but it has to be Andy Kaufman has to get in the ring with me and the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Oh yeah.
So it's a handicap match. 3 of us against Jerry the King Lawler. And God damn it, can you believe that Lawler beat all 3 of us? I couldn't believe it. He beat all 3 of it.
Not in Memphis, surely.
No, this was in Lexington, Kentucky.
Right. I just yeah.
At the big arena. We had 19,000 people, 20,000 people jammed into that place. I think it was a record crowd.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It would have
How
been a
about
rough
Portland?
arena.
Did you ever wrestle in Portland? Being from Portland, did you ever wrestle there?
I wrestled one time. Billy Jack Haynes and I wrestled Demolition. And again, I did the job in the middle of the ring like a true professional wrestler.
In your hometown, huh?
In my hometown, I had to do a job.
Wow.
Well, that was part of the deal with Vince. I was getting ready to bail out of there anyway. And so, you know, that let me turn this thing off. That was one of my last matches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the WWF anyway. That was in 1988, I believe, and I retired in November of '88.
Because Rip had mentioned before, not really like it. Once he started getting out on the road, he didn't want to like wrestle around home that much. Was that like the same for you? Like being just the Portland territory was just never really on your radar? I mean,
yeah, it was always on my radar. I talked to the promoter out there, Don Owens.
yeah.
I bumped into him over in Hawaii, as a matter of fact. I was on my way back from Japan, my rookie year, 1973.
Okay.
And I asked Don, I said, Don, I'm from Portland, Oregon. Oh, yeah, the Patera boys, I know all about you guys. He said, I followed all your brothers were football players. You were a football player. he said, Ken, there's only one problem with that. I can't pay you what you deserve. You know, small territory. And I said, Don, how does 250 a week sound? No, I couldn't pay you that. I said, well, I'll come out for free. I'll come out for 3 months. I won't even charge you. I'll stay over at my mom and dad's house. No, we can't do that. Anyway, he had every goddamn excuse in the world not to bring me in.
Really?
Yeah. And I guess he was afraid if I got over big, you know, that I'd want to hold him up for money.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going through his brain, but that was probably it. But I talked to him 2 or 3 other times where I bumped into him, and I said, Don, I'd really like to wrestle in my hometown. Is there any way you can see, you know, bringing me in? Well, let me think about it, Ken. And he thought about it. I called him. He said, well, Ken, I just don't have any place for you right now. There was always some kind of a bullshit excuse. He just didn't want to use me in Portland, Oregon.
Wow,
Hey,
that's
Kenny,
crazy.
hey, you got to remember now. I don't know about the timeline on this. Billy Jack used Don to get over. Then he opened his own territory and ran against Don.
Oh yeah, yeah, he did that after we were tag team partners.
Okay, so was when you was talking to Don, had that already happened or had not that happened yet?
No, that hadn't happened yet.
And that's I remember Don saying that's why I didn't want to use local guys because they could turn on me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he told me that. I said, well, I understand.
Well, it's pretty hard to. I told him I'd do it for free.
I know. Well, I have no idea, but I'm just looking at the promotion side because that happened to him with Billy Jack. You know.
Right. Well, Billy Jack was a different animal than I was. You know, but I tell somebody, give them my word, that's as good as gold. I never fucked anybody around in the business. Never. Yeah, but whatever they wanted me to do, I did. Well, I just told you the story about Vince McMahon. You know, the last when I was finishing up there, I put everybody in the kitchen sink over.
Yeah.
And people say, why would you do that? I said, hey, I come from a legitimate background. I was in the Pan American Games, World Championships, and to top it off, I was in the Olympic Games. I said, I don't have an ego towards this business. I love the business. That's why I do it. And I was in 16 straight years, and I did 4 years. After I retired, I did 4 more years. I traveled all over the world. You know, I went to Germany, Russia, Singapore, Japan, Mexico. I went everywhere. And I went to places I can't even remember now. But yeah, I love the business. And, you know, I wasn't there to be a prima donna or some jerk off or, you know, to come in and compete against somebody that gave me the opportunity to wrestle for them. Yeah, I was. That was never in my MO. My MO was to go work for somebody and do the best job I could, give them 110%. And when I was done, you know, I'd move on to another territory. Hell, I wrestled in. I wrestled. I started in the AWA. Then I went down to Texas. That was NWA. Then I went over to Georgia Championship Wrestling. That was NWA too. Then I went to the WWF. Or no, I went to Charlotte territory, Crockett Promotion. I wrestled there for a little over a year. Then I went to the WWF. So I mean, I wrestled for every top promoter in the country, except Don Owens.
Wow.
Yeah, Yeah. So
I don't know if there's a backstory to this, but our last super chat question here says, how many White Castle sliders could Jerry Blackwell eat?
this is going to surprise whoever asked that question. Jerry was like Morse the cat. He was a very finicky eater.
Really?
The only junk that he'd eat nothing but the best. The only junk food I saw Jerry Blackwell eat was Snicker bars, probably 3 or 4 of the big giant ones, and wash it down with a 6-pack of Pepsi Cola.
Really?
Yeah, because he didn't alcohol. And so that might surprise people. Now, if he would ask how many White Castle sliders could Ken Patera put away, I'd
70.
say
70.
well, 2 to 3 dozen at a time, at least, and wash it down with a 12-pack of beer.
There you go. Is that how you got those big muscles?
Absolutely. Well, they're not very big anymore.
Hey, I'm a
Like-
rum and coke guy too. You talk about rum and coke a lot. I'm a big rum and coke guy.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
those.
I quit drinking. I don't drink anymore.
Yeah, you didn't quit the stuff though. You still got the Copenhagen. You like that?
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about that. I'm sitting in my grandfather's garage one day. I was 10 years old. I was watching him work on a car. And he takes this tin of Copenhagen out, stuffs it. He was from Sweden. He
yeah.
was, but anyway, he was chewing. He started chewing when he was 10 years old. And here I just happened to be 10 years old. So I say, Grandpa, what is that you put in your mouth all the time? He said, that's Copenhagen stuff, Kenny. I say, can I try some of that? I says, is it kind of like candy? He says, well, kind of. So he pulls my lip open, takes a big pinch of Copenhagen, stuffs it down my lip. He said, now just leave it in your mouth for about 10 minutes or 5 minutes. He said, if you leave it in 10 minutes, you might get sick. Well, after about 8 minutes, I got sick. And I spit that shit out. I was sweating. Oh my God, it was terrible. And so later that night, I was staying over at my grandparents' house that night. And so later that night, I snuck some Copenhagen out of his Copenhagen can and put it in there. Fuck, I had it all over my mouth and everything. And I left it in about 10 minutes that time. I got sick again, but I never stopped.
Oh wow.
I'm 82 now, so I've been chewing for 72 years.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So is there a reason you quit drinking? Can I ask that question?
I just got sick of drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
but not I got you.
I quit drinking when I was 70.
Oh, really?
And the reason I did, I was so fucking fat. I'd gotten up to, I'm about 260 now. I got up to 386 pounds
Holy shit.
4 years ago. That's pushing 400 pounds. And I says, God, I got to stop this. So I just quit drinking one day. And the weight finally came off. And people ask me, what kind of diet are you on? I said, a no booze diet. Big BOOZE. No booze. And they did it. I said, well, it gives you an idea how much I was drinking. Christ, I drank a liter of rum and coke a day, and I drink 14 to 20 beers a day. every day. I didn't take any days off. And
Wow.
I did that for years and years.
So a bottle and the beers, or one or the other?
Yeah. No,
Both.
I drank 12, 14 beers. When I got full of beer, I switched to the rum and Coke. Yeah.
Man, sound like Rip.
Oh yeah.
Rip
Yeah.
doesn't drink. He doesn't party. Hey, what give us? We've had a lot of questions in the chat about, and again, I keep saying we'll wrap this up, about women. People want to know about your women on the road. Can you tell us any kind of women you liked? Were you always married? Did it, anything you can tell us about any women stories? Can you
Oh,
tell us anything?
I got divorced 3 times.
That's the norm.
So that kind of give you, I love women.
Okay.
And I had a lot of pretty girls on the road, and I didn't have to chase any of them. As a matter of fact, I carried a stick around with me just to beat them up.
Of course, it's tough when you're the world's strongest man. You're in the Olympics, this and that. You got the body of a god, have the bleach blonde hair, being over.
Yeah, I was.
That's rough.
But girls, yeah, I love them. As a matter of fact, my girlfriend is 81. She lives in Portland. And I was out there, 2 months ago?
Something like that, yeah.
About 2 months ago. And it gets to be about midnight, 1 in the morning, whatever, we go to bed. And lo and behold, she slips under the blankets. And I feel somebody sucking my dick.
You sort of figured out who it was, didn't you?
Yeah, I took a wild guess. So I lift the blanket up. I said, Val, what are you doing? She says, I'm just giving you some happiness. I said, well, you're doing a hell of a job. Keep it up.
And this just happened recently, right?
2 months ago.
2 months
yeah,
ago.
That's the girl I saw you with at the breakfast thing when we was eating, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you look like 2 teenagers in love, talking turtle dove love.
Yeah, we were. Well, we knew each other since we were 20.
Uh-huh.
So we've known each other for 62 years. So
that might be the greatest story ever told on Wrestling with Rip Rogers, right there.
It's not that we're strangers to one another. It wasn't a one-night stand or anything like that,
Yeah, she's your girlfriend.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, well, that's great.
She's great. Yeah.
It's great. Hey, you got a nice haircut too last week. We were going to talk about your haircut. Remember, you had to leave our show for your your haircut. It's looking good.
Trim my beard up.
Yeah.
I wanted to be respectable for you two. I didn't want to come on here looking like Santa Claus.
That's right. Don't ever do that.
I thought I'd get you with that one.
You can give me that one all the time. Look at the money I'm saving on razor blades.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just lazy.
Yeah, there you go.
So is your girlfriend watching the show today, do you think?
I forgot to tell her.
Oh, man.
Hey, you can tell her right now that she can catch it, and we'll be on YouTube forever now. And if you want to mention her name right now, then she can go back and she can listen to the story you told about she was servicing you in Portland. So that'll be good.
Well, her name's Valerie.
Okay, Val.
But I'm not going to mention her last name.
Oh, that's okay.
It's okay, Val. We got all the film, the cameras from when we were eating that night. You two were staring at each other, playing footsies.
Yeah.
I think he was he had his toe up your snabits and you give me a little wank, a slow wank from underneath there because you was both hyperventilating. And I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch, but they had some more food I wanted to attack.
Yeah, I've done that more than once. Not with her, but with other girls. You know. So
Now, were there any young guys?
young guys.
Yeah. Have you ever been with a guy?
No, fuck.
How about a tranny?
No. Ric Flair was with a tranny.
Did he know it?
I don't know. I'll tell you the story though.
Oh,
Sure.
hell yeah.
Rick and I had a house over in South Minneapolis when I moved back here. This in 1971.
This is when he's breaking in, right?
Yeah, we were both breaking in.
Okay.
I got Rick in the business.
Yep.
So we had this house with another guy and his girlfriend. We have 4-bedroom place, and so I think I was at the gym. So Rick comes home with this black girl, 2 black girls. We lived in a black neighborhood, and they loved us. Those girls just loved us.
And you loved that Sue Chocolata yourself, didn't you?
Yeah. But anyway, Rick, these 2 girls come over. One was a big girl, one was a small girl. The small girl turns out to be a transvestite.
Oh, okay.
So Rick takes her upstairs to one of the bedrooms, and he's fucking her, banging her all over the place and everything.
No, wait a minute. A transvestite? How can you? I want to hear this.
Well, he was fucking her somehow. I don't know. I wasn't in the room.
She must have pooched her butt up, so he was in a different hole and didn't know it.
This is in 71. I don't think they had surgeries for that shit.
That's what I'm thinking. So there had to be a hammer down there then.
Yeah.
And either he didn't have his glasses on, or he said, "What the hell?" Or it was dark out, or I don't know.
He told me he fucked her.
Oh.
So, and that's one thing Rick would never lie about is fucking something. He'd fuck anything.
Apparently.
I'm not mad at him.
I mean, each to his own. Like I tell Rick, I said, I like the Mexican girls that live right around here.
Oh, hell yeah.
And man, I talk about young, pretty Mexican girls. They were all gorgeous.
Yeah, that's what I'm married to.
Oh, are you? Yeah. A little added flavor here. You remember the guy named Prince?
Yeah.
Musician, singer.
Yeah.
He lived down the street.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was about 17, 18 years old at the time. Yeah. So,
wow. So you talked to him then? Like,
I'd say hi to him and stuff. I really didn't know him.
Oh, yeah.
Did he want the world's strongest man's autograph?
I wasn't the world's strongest man at that time. It was the next year.
Oh, okay. Well, how long did he stay there? Well, he probably just worship you like a god because you were just a physical superior being. Well, he was just Prince.
Yeah, he was just a little skinny kid.
Yeah.
I don't think he weighed more than 100.
100 and what?
110.
No, there ain't no guy. No, he's probably got a hammer that big.
No. Yeah, he might have been 120. He wasn't more than 120 pounds, believe me. He was like Michael Jackson, skinny.
Yeah.
Hey, remember that TV show and Jerry Blackwell was in sort of like a World's Strongest Man contest, but they did different feats and stuff. You remember that?
I got him in there. I was in there the year before.
Okay, because I just remember seeing it, and he looked so out of place, but he was strong. But he looks like just a big, what a huge belly.
Oh yeah, he weighed 450 pounds.
And it looked like he was short.
He was about 5'8".
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he was shorter than shit.
He had little tiny feet. He wore like a size 8 shoe.
Okay, that usually means a miniature hammer. So,
I don't know. I never looked.
well, I bet you took a peek every once in a while.
Even if I peeked, I don't think I could see it. His belly hung down to his knees.
Yeah,
I mean, give me a break.
yeah. Now, what year was that?
We were tag team partners. We had the AWA tag team belts.
Well, what was the year that they had that contest? Do you remember? Because
Oh,
yeah.
well, I was in it in 77, I believe.
Okay, so this must have been in 78 was when I saw it for the first time.
78, 79, maybe.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, right in there. Yeah.
Because I remember at the time we were years from getting cable, and if it wasn't on cable, so we just got the old 4 stations from Indianapolis and 4 stations from Louisville, because I lived in a town right in the middle of both of those.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Jerry was a good guy. He had a good head of the business.
Okay.
Yeah, he was really good. He came up with all kinds of things. And so Vern used most of them.
Uh-huh.
And but yeah, we were tag team partners for about a year, I guess. And God, I can't think of what year. That would have been 80, 82, 83.
Now Vern, now did Vern train you, or was it Iron Sheik, or who?
Iron
Billy
Sheik.
Robinson?
Here, I'll tell you the whole thing.
Okay.
Our wrestling camp was me and Rick. I got Rick in the camp.
Okay.
Jimmy Brunzell and Greg Gagne, Vern.
Okay.
The Iron Sheik,
Uh-huh.
Khosrow Vaziri,
Yeah.
straight from Iran,
Uh-huh.
and an ex-football player by the name of Bobby Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby was from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
He had just finished up his football career with the Miami Dolphins. And anyway, him and Wahoo McDaniel were good friends.
Okay.
You know, from the pro football game.
Mm-hmm.
And so Vern got Bobby introducing the Vern Gagne
Okay.
at the same time we were getting ready to start our training camp.
Mm-hmm.
The trainer was Billy Robinson.
Yeah.
From Manchester, England.
Right. Yeah, I worked with him.
Yeah, he come in and put us in about 1,000 different pretzel holes, and which had nothing to do with pro wrestling. But
yeah,
they just wanted to make sure if somebody fucked with us out on the street that we could stretch them.
Okay.
So that we could hurt them. And that was the whole reason that I learned shit. Yeah, people want to fuck with my strength and my athletic ability, and then all that knowledge on how to hurt people.
Yeah,
I could fuck people up, but I never did. I never used it. Yeah, I could have, but I know Billy did all the time. Yeah,
well, he got his back though, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he took advantage of people. Yeah, for that stuff to really work properly, you have to give the person that's going to apply the hold, you have to give them an arm or a leg.
Yeah, you're saying here, let me get here. I'm going to get this body part. I'm going to show you something. Yeah.
And then I'll show you how to do this. Then he'd fuck the person up.
Yeah.
You know, Sailor Art Thomas beat him up.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah. and knocked him out. They were outside a barn in a snowstorm. Sailor Art pulled his dick out and pissed all over him.
Oh, fuck. I wish I'd have seen that motherfucker.
Yeah, pissed on his face and everything. They took him to the hospital. Then Billy, his whole face got infected.
Yeah.
And they had to keep him in the hospital for 4 or 5 days because he had this infection in his eyes and lips and mouth and everything from where Sailor Art had pissed on. Oh, yeah.
Were you there when Chris Taylor was there?
Yes, I was. I helped train Chris.
Okay. That's what I thought, see.
Bob Remus. You remember Bob Remus?
I remember that. Wait a minute. That's Sergeant Slaughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Real name. Yeah. Yeah. I said, yeah. Then I had to kick it in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They came in the year after original 6.
Now, what year was that when you come in?
72. Right.
Okay, 72. You, because
right
I remember when Buddy Rose went there, and he told me the story when he went in, and he said, and he used to work in the ring for Vern, right? He'd haul the ring.
He'd haul
and then he did that, and then it was too tough for him, and then who was it? I think it was Wahoo said, just gut it out, buddy. I'll make sure you get a chance next year. They wanted to, they didn't want anybody. They wanted all these big so-called studs to give up and quit so they would go around town protecting the business. No, they beat the shit out of us. You know,
right. Exactly.
All of it's real.
Exactly.
And then, so Buddy did what Wahoo said. He went back the next year, and then when they weeded out the ones they wanted to weed out, then they helped him. And that's how I started.
Exactly. Well, Buddy's real name is Paul
Pershman. Yeah.
And his buddy, Doug Summers.
Oh, yeah. I know Doug.
Doug. They wound up being tag team partners out in Portland, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But they were two good kids. They were teenagers at the time, you know. And they both turned out to be good performers.
Yeah. Doug was married to Leroy McGurk's daughter at one time.
Yeah, right.
Just like Brian Blair was.
I was just going to say, Brian got there first.
Okay.
I think a lot of guys got to McGurk's daughter. What was her name?
Leroy. No. Michael McGurk.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike McGurk. Yeah.
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 Well,
I saw a picture of her recently. She still looks pretty good. She got to be in her late 60s, early 70s.
Well, shit, that's, if you got an 81-year-old girlfriend or whatever she is now, then you might as well add her too.
Absolutely.
She'd be a big mark for the world's strongest man with the world's strongest hammer.
Yeah, well, Mike McGurk was a little too skinny for me. I liked him with a little meat on the bone.
Yeah, she was too olive oilish for you.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, Lordy.
I love it.
All right, guys. Well, I think we probably need to wrap this up. Do you got any more places you're going, Ken? Are you doing any more Fan Fest or anywhere?
Yeah,
you're going to be that we can tell the people?
I'm going out to Las Vegas on the 15th of April.
That's where I'm at.
I have a table set up out there at the Horseshoe Casino. And then, I rented a table and the whole thing.
Is that one of the Comic-Con things or something?
Yeah. Well, no, it's WrestleMania week.
Well, yeah, it's WrestleMania week, but they got so much stuff out there.
Well, I have a guy out there that's handling everything for me.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the one after that, Bruno Forever, I think is the 25th of April. And then I have one in New Jersey, a Comic-Con in New Jersey in May. And so I try to do one a month.
Wow, that's nice.
If the money's right, if they don't
Yeah.
want, the money's.
How do you get on the list? I don't hear about them until they're announced, or there's a whole big fucking. It's the same goddamn guys going all the time. You know,
Right? It's the same guys. I have a couple guys. One from Connecticut. I think he lives. Yeah, Connecticut. Massey. His last name's Massey. I've done about 5 or 6 for him. I do. People just call me. People call me and we make a deal on the phone, and they give me the date, and they pay for my airfare, my motel room, plus $200-300 spending money, plus between $2,000 and $3,500. Depending on what kind of show and how big a show it is. I don't hold anybody up. They pay me what they can afford.
Oh well.
Yeah,
it's a good deal.
Like if I was the world's strongest man, I could be demanding that money and getting it.
Rip, move your phone up.
We're really breaking up, man. I can't hardly hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's been Rip's phone actually, but could be wrong.
I'm just sitting here and I'm hearing.
Yeah, we're cutting out. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you, but I can hear you. Yeah.
I can't hardly hear you. There's so much.
Just hold your phone for a second. Just move your phone and see if that does anything. Just hold it for 1 second and see if that helps.
Now, when you move it, it's making that noise when you're moving that phone. It's like crackling.
Yeah, I thought it was yours earlier, Rip, because a couple times when you moved it, the feedback stopped.
But I didn't move. I was just sitting there in a fixed position.
No, there was a couple times you moved it up closer.
Okay.
And then it would go away.
Okay.
But anyway, I think he's just frozen,
I think he's frozen.
Might be an internet deal. Well, we've been on here for almost 2 hours after a 30-minute struggle. So it's been about 2 hours and 22 minutes right now for all said and done. So what a day, man. I can't believe that we did it. We got it.
Yeah, I thought it was a total washout. I said, oh, something's wrong.
I told everybody no more super chats about 30 minutes ago, thinking we were going to wrap this up. I kept telling him one more, and then then you came in. Finally, Rip came in and started nailing him with some questions. Did a great job there. I could sit there and just listen to you guys ping back and forth all day. Shane Parks, Streaming Baboon, Shane Parks, and a new listener, maybe Bryce Sutton. I don't know if Bryce Sutton's a new listener in the house today on Super Chats. If you guys in the chat, do me a favor when we're done, go make a whole bunch of comments on it. We really got the last one going. I think we got like 1,700 or 800 views now. So if you go like it, as soon as this is done, go like it, make some comments on this live today. Say how great it was, all that kind of good stuff. It really helps YouTube get it out there more. And thanks, everybody, for sticking with it. I know it was a 30-minute debacle there for a minute. Luckily, most of you are used to it.
Yeah, if I was a normal person, I'd say, well, oh, if it ain't working, it ain't working. That'd be it.
But we made it.
And
man.
You were calm. I like that.
I was calm. I was actually panicking a little bit today. I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, I still don't really understand why it's doing that, but I do know StreamYard did some updates, and I don't know if it has anything to do with that or not. This weekend is the big Fan Fest here in Indianapolis, Rip, man. I miss you being here. We've been there the last 2 or 3 years together, and I got nothing this year, man. Nothing.
Well, the guy never got a hold of me. He gets a hold of everybody else, so I guess I was not wanted.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Well, It's all right. All right. Anything? You got anything to add, Rip? I got to get off here, man.
Okay, yeah, nothing. I just got to pee. I got some food here. George ordered me some food that's supposed to be here tonight, like 6 to 8 my time.
Wow, thanks, George.
Yeah, well, he said, "What you got to eat?" So I was just telling him the Dollar Tree stuff I got, right? And then he was asking me, because are you doing anything tonight? I said, why? He said, I ordered you some food. Oh, I said, oh, fucking thank you. I said, God damn. I said, awesome. So it's supposed to be here between, I think 6 o'clock's the earliest or something like that my time. So it's only 11:25 here in the morning here.
Food on George. I got the music playing. We're out of
Okay.
here. Thanks everybody for being on here today.
All right, we made it.
You'll get no better than this. Kim Patera, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Gave us a lot of time today. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'll call it to thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Well, you stay